Purpose TV.
Hello viewers, you're most welcome to yet another episode of Soaring with Eagles. In part one of our conversation, we explored the early life, upbringing, and career of our distinguished guest. Today, we enter a very different chapter of his life. Our guest spent 24 years in prison, including many years on death row, before receiving a presidential pardon and beginning a completely new chapter of his life. Today, he serves as a senior presidential advisor for general duties. But before we talk about the position he holds today, I want us to go back to the place where his life seemed to have come to a complete stop. Honorable Chris Rwakasisi, welcome back to Soaring with Eagles.
Thank you.
When was that when I interviewed you? Maybe 3 years ago?
About 4 years ago.
4 years ago, yes. So, Honorable, when you look back at your journey and discuss that we discussed in part one, and then look at what happened afterwards, what does the story of your imprisonment really begin?
The story of the imprisonment, I've been in prison very many times, but let us look at the last one. It all started on the 27th of July, 85, when I was apprehended at Ginger Bridge. I was trying to flee, but I was intercepted. So that is when the journey started.
That is when the journey started.
Yeah.
So take us back to that period when you were arrested. What do you remember most vividly about those days?
Well,
and what was going through your mind at that particular time?
Being in the station, at the station in which I was, to be all of a sudden find yourself apprehended and arrested. Well, I don't think there is an arrest which is pleasant, but this one is like falling from the high tree and crash to the ground. Yes, and fall to the ground, and there a lot of things go through your head. Something even confused. The changing that status. All of a sudden, it's not easy to comprehend.
So at what point did you realize that this was not going to be a short interruption in your life, but something that could fundamentally change your future?
Well, I should say that was mainly on the 30th of June, 1988, when the judge in Mbarara pronounced a death sentence. I remember it was very dramatic. First of all, he started reading the sentence from 10 o'clock in the morning until 8:30 in the night.
10 o'clock in the morning until 8:30 in the night?
That's correct.
You were sitting in court?
In court. No break. And at 8:30, the judge announced that he was going to pronounce a death sentence. And the court stood and they said a prayer. That prayer I did not quite get everything, but I come to the tail end when they said, "May his soul rest in peace."
Oh, they even added that on.
Yes,
Oh, so what
yes.
does
And
it? Yes.
then the judge, you know, in a very comic manner, he removed his white wig and put on a black hood, and said, "I'm pronouncing a death sentence." Said, "You, Chris Rwakasisi, for what you did, I'm hereby sentencing you to suffer death by hanging until you die." Yeah, that was it.
Wow.
That was it. And
Yes.
it is, that is when I looked at the journey that it was not going to be short.
It was not going to be short.
Yeah.
So what does it do to a person's mind when you are told that your life could end through execution? What was going through your mind, even when you went back?
Let me first of all say this. I was inwardly, I was almost rebellious. Rebellious in the sense that first of all, I had this mind of innocence. You know, I never committed this crime, but here is a man saying, "You are going to die, suffer death by hanging," and well, those who cried, those who laughed, and here you are being handcuffed immediately, and taken out of the court. When you are the main person involved, it's not a fun. As people would be reading it and all that, it's not a fun. Yeah, so it was not. Yeah.
Did you believe you would actually die in prison?
Fortunately, in the beginning, yes. Because the group which was preparing the case and because I remember there was the judges of that time, they refused to try me because they felt there was no case for them to try. And a certain chief magistrate was promoted to be a judge and tried me. So there was that enthusiasm, and I thought anything could happen.
So what was the hardest part in those early years? Losing your freedom, being separated from your family, and the uncertainty about your future, or anything else?
Let me say that what would go through the mind of anybody condemned, you start looking at future differently. You know, you see it being shortened. You know, when you are in your ordinary life, even when you fall sick, you still say, "I'm going to recover." But here you are, sentenced to die. You know that there is time is going to come. There is that end, and although you will not be certain exactly when, but you just see your time being shortened. Yeah. Yeah.
So what was it like being separated from your family? Did you discuss were you able to see in those early years, were you able to Was your family able to visit you in prison?
Exactly. They did. My wife is a very wonderful lady. Imagine when I left her, she was very young. Very beautiful woman, I must admit. And you are just separated. But she never abandoned me. For those years, every week, she would climb that hill of Ruzira to come to see me. Yeah. So,
Wow.
of course, I missed my family, I missed my children.
Did you kind of come up with a will or feel now you have a short time with me, I think I need to let you know I'm going?
I did not get to that stage. In prisoners on death row, when time comes for execution, they are taken in what they call dressing room.
Okay.
And they are there for 3 days.
Oh, are they allowed to see their relatives before?
Exactly.
Okay.
The relatives come see them for the last time. They make their wills and all that.
Okay.
Yeah. That's when they are in the dressing room, knowing they are going.
Yes. So, Honorable Rwakasisi, 25 years is a very, very long time. For most people watching us, it is difficult even to imagine what that actually means. Can you describe an ordinary day in prison during those days?
Yeah. First of all, when we talked about missing the family, I miss the family and I miss my power.
Exactly.
I missed my pomp.
The pomp and power that came with the position you were in.
All that, you just lose them. Yeah.
You just lose it.
You just lose it. Yes.
So what was an ordinary day like in prison during those years?
You see, as I told you, there are two sections of the prison. There is the maximum security prison, Ruzira, where they keep remands and convicts. The remands on capital offences and convicts of who serve long sentences. Now there the routine is different. For 5:45, it is counting hour, which is called unlock.
5:45 a.m.
Yes. We count head count. Then 6:30, the cells are opened. The morning. Then they start sorting out different categories of inmates. Those who are going to court, they start lining up, being documented, going out. And then there are what they call parties. Those who got different parties, who go to carpentry, go to masonry, go to shoemaking, going to where, then they sort out those going to hospitals. The remands mainly, they don't work. The remands don't work. No. So about 7:30, they serve
breakfast.
They serve breakfast, which is always porridge.
Just porridge.
Just porridge. But later, the school was introduced. So those who would go to study, to go to classes. Others just go playing their mueso, playing football.
The whole day?
Almost the whole day. Then midday, they get lunch.
Okay.
Yeah. and supper. Then 4:30, 4:45 is lock-up time. It's locked. Now that is what they call boma.
So you're expected to sleep from, or you just talk within. You're allowed.
Of course, yeah.
Lock-up time, you're with other inmates, so you're just conversing and.
But then condemn has got a different regime because condemned prisoners don't work. So the unlock time is same time. Of course, there would be some inmates going to court, those who got courts of appeals, and after that, mainly just idle around.
You're just relaxing.
Just idle around. But then we try to create some activities, type of going, running. I used to run the Bible class and then another class for international affairs. Just try to make yourself busy.
Wow. So what was the psychological impact of knowing that you are on death row?
Now this, of course, the psychological impact. Let me first say that I was not like other inmates. On the death row, there are people, there is a condition, they call it death row syndrome. Now, the death row syndrome, here someone is ushered in, you are sentenced to death, you are coming to condemn. The gallows are just on top.
You knew where the gallows were?
Of course, they are within even during the executions, when they are hanging people, they hang some people, others are in a lower cell. You hear everything, those banging of coffins and all that. So some inmates suffer from that syndrome, looking into void, hating himself, and others actually die. Now, the guards in condemn, it's not very much that they guard the inmates from escaping, but rather they guard them that they should not cheat the executioner. Cheating the executioner meaning killing yourself.
Killing yourself,
yes,
right? Committing suicide,
yeah. So
that is a possibility.
Yes, so there is that possibility. But I fought it very hard. I never suffered from it. I had a lot of activities. I had a lot of books to read my Bible and all that. So I was extremely busy.
You were extremely busy.
Yes.
You kept your mind in the right place.
Yeah.
Were there nights when you could not sleep because you were thinking about death?
Unfortunately, no.
Oh,
no such a night, because as I said, I would get in, I would start reading, writing, and that would take me, cross midnight, and when I went down, just sleep, and there are a few hours. Here is an unlock. Wake up. Yeah.
So what did prison teach you about loneliness?
As I said, in fact, I was never lonely.
You were never lonely?
Apart from, I don't want to stop missing my family and but otherwise, prisoners are never lonely. You are in a community. You're in a community of your own.
So you learn to adapt.
Yes.
There's a time that comes and you actually adapt to your new environment.
Now, like in Condemn, because we're very many and the place is very small, you needn't lift your face to look at someone's face, says that is Joy. No, you just look at the feet, because we know each other's feet, because of being in a small place and looking at each other.
Yes.
Yeah. So we knew others like that, but people make some communities, some groups, others like in Condemn, because the place is small, but there is a small room where people could play volleyball. But then there are usually very many religious people, if I may call them so, who come there,
who come to visit.
Bring there the ministries,
which would be very helpful.
Yeah.
Yes. So, who were the people who gave you encouragement during those years?
Incidentally, whom can I say? Well, we had very many people that encouraged us. I had, but I think even on the contrary, I used to encourage them, because people would come see me, they would start crying, things like that. Then I would be the one to.
Yes. Say, they went back encouraged instead.
Yes. So please,
I'm fine.
Yeah.
Did you ever feel that especially when you gave your life to Christ, did you ever believe that you would be pardoned, or you would actually leave prison? Or had you resigned yourself to the fact that I am born again, even if I am killed, I will go to heaven?
After it's about 10 years, I had this strong faith that I will walk out of that place.
Did that come from some of the stories of Paul and Silas in the Bible? Where did that?
One thing was that I think I told you this one in my first batch, that when I was taken to Condemn, about 1 month, the OC called me in his office. When I went, he told me, said, well, I'm very sorry, you have not committed any crime, but I've received orders from above that I take you to isolation. Now, isolation in Condemn, as I've said, you have got to Luzera, and now you have got Condemn in Luzera, and now you have isolation in Condemn. So that means being in prison, of a prison in a prison. And that place is set aside for violent inmates. Let us say, if you are both on death row and one inmate kills another, but you are already sentenced to die, they cannot take you to court to be sentenced second time.
Okay.
They won't take you there.
Yes.
So what I would do is to take you to isolation, to isolate you. You get out, So that's a place meant for such people, and that's where I was taken. The OC apologized. You have done nothing wrong, but that's what.
So I ordered me to do.
So I went to isolation, and it was a terrible thing, because I was still bitter, but now the bitterness even increased. So if there was anything that could help me finish my life, I would have done it. But it was not there.
Oh, really? You even thought of suicide?
Only when I looked around later, I saw something which looked like a brick. So I wanted to reach it, to make it like a pillow at least, because there is nothing, it's just a bare cement. But when I touched it, it was soft. It was a Bible. It was a book. When I opened it, it was a Bible. Because I did not want a Bible at that time. I didn't. And But because I had nothing to do, I started reading that Bible. Read it. But don't ask me what I read, because the eyes were just looking at letters, but my mind was far removed. And but I read it, I finished it. One thing in the isolation is that see nobody, hear nobody, talk to nobody. So you're just on your own. It's isolation, as the word is. So I started reading the Bible the second time. There I started making no sense again at all. It was confused because I thought it was a very confused book. When I read the Genesis, you see a man called Adam, brother called Abraham. Abraham is coming from Ur. God is taking him to promised land, but he overshoots it, finds himself in Egypt. And the Bible says that the king of Egypt admired Sarah because
his wife.
she was very beautiful.
Very beautiful.
Now said the woman of 90 years. And, he's the king.
You were saying, what is wrong? Yes, doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Then in the gospel, there is an incident where this woman anointed Jesus' head. Then in the following gospel, so he anointed his feet. Said, why couldn't they still, edit this book? Then when you get to the Revelation, after those first 5 chapters of the letters to 7 churches, you get the total confusion. Here is a woman pregnant, chased by a snake with 7 heads. I said, what is all that? No, I finished it. But then I read it the third time. And that is when my eyes opened.
Wow. Wow.
Cut story short, when I got in the gospel, John chapter 1, verse 11 downwards, we said, and he came unto his own, and his own received him not. But as many as received him, as many as believed in him, he gave them the authority to be called children of God. I felt my first mind was, so there are people who are not children of God. So who are they? Said these are creation. They are not children of God, but they are just his creation. Then in chapter 3, when I go to that story of Nicodemus, chapter 3, verse 7, when he's telling Nicodemus, said, Nicodemus, I tell you, but you must be born again. I went in some kind of a trance, and there a man stood before me and called me by name and said, Chris, fear not, nobody's going to kill you.
Wow.
He might have seen that maybe my countenance was confused, and then he qualified himself, said, in 3 days, you are going to leave this place.
What?
When I came up, I thought I had gone mad. Said, did I see somebody? But
in 3 days?
In 3 days.
You were out.
I was out.
Wow.
And so with that assurance,
yes,
it kept in.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And then later on, when the president went to Rwakasisi and was calling ADF, that was 98, calling ADF, said, come, I'll forgive you as I forgive Rwakasisi. I said, hey, Kumbe.
So how were you able to get this information? Through the
reading papers.
Oh, you were reading newspapers. That's good.
We're reading newspapers, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, Honorable, we have to go into a break, and then we'll continue with this story. So, viewers, will be right back after this break.
Must watch on Manifest TV. Hey everybody, Kiski here. Welcome to the latest and greatest, yes, a new show on Manifest TV. Every Saturday morning we're going to be waking up together to good vibes. And I'm not alone. I'm here with
Katrina Faith. Hey everyone, welcome to Kingdom Culture. We do all things gospel music, all things gospel events, all things really gospel.
We're going to be here every Saturday morning, right?
One
day, like, I'll never explain.
Trust us.
This 1 hour we're together is going to shake the whole weekend.
Yes.
It's going to be a beautiful one.
And we'll also be indoors, outdoors.
We are creative.
Creatives.
One place. Yeah, but it's going to be a beautiful one. It's going to be a very beautiful journey. We can't wait to see you on Manifest TV. We'll see you. Bye-bye.
Manifest TV, Christ revealed.
Let it shine! You put in the hours to make your brand the greatest. You go the extra mile to allow it achieve success. It deserves to be treated the right way, to be given the attention it deserves, and not stay in the dark. Advertise with Manifest Television to get your brand into the light. Manifest TV, Christ revealed.
Welcome back from the break. You're still watching Soaring with Eagles. My name is Pastor Joy Ninsiima, and my guest today is Honorable Chris Rwakasisi, a Senior Presidential Advisor for General Duties. Now, Honorable Chris, you were in prison for 24 years. What happened to your relationship with your family while you were in prison?
It's very interesting. But my relationship with my family, it was a time for us to discover ourselves. I became a very good husband.
Because you slowed down. You were too busy.
I realized that my wife was very beautiful.
Okay.
And I became a very good father.
Wow. Wow.
I had time for my children. I would write them letters every week. So I became a very good father and a very good husband in absentia.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
It's when you appreciated the value of the family.
Yes.
Ordinarily, if I turned home at 1 o'clock or 2, and then my wife asked me, being a mchara Muganda, naye Christmas, uva sawa zino, sawa mubudde nga bwise. Mbadde ngenze ne sofuriya zo oba ntutebula njityo. You've forgotten that I'm not your son. So
arrogant. You were I think you were, in that time, you were very arrogant.
Yes. So, and all these, I realized how naivety I was when I was in prison. But it was always a pleasure that week to see her for as little time as it were.
How long did they give you to visit, to see her?
Maybe 15 minutes. So
how many?
15 minutes every week.
15 minutes?
Yes.
Jesus. Wow.
Yes. Because Mark, you'd say visitors there, there will be very many people, others, under the reception, the place where you meet them. It's a very small place. So they will be bringing them in batches. So, yeah.
So your relationship with your family actually became
Very.
Yes.
It blossomed.
Yes.
I must admit.
Yes. Yes.
Must admit.
Did you witness other prisoners lose hope?
Very many. As I said, you have prisoners come from different backgrounds. Let's start with those who are just picked up from streets and these are the prisoners who receive no visitors. They are just there. And
how did that affect you as a person seeing them?
Well, I'm coming to that. Then you have the prisoners who came from affluent backgrounds. Others were students, others university students, others were engineers, others were what, and those also have their own problems. I remember I had two inmates. When we came in, one had 5 wives, another one had 3. To year 5, the one with 5 wives remained with 2, and the one with 3 had 1. As we touched year 10, both had no wife. And so someone starts that kind of thinking. Then of course others, I say those from affluent the stations, they have their problems. Maybe they had bank loans, they had what? Here your house has been, the bank has repossessed it. So you get all sorts of different inmates with different discontents. And I became a counselor. I became everything to most of them. But some of them would just deteriorate and get overboard. Yeah. So they were there.
Wow. So I want us now to come to what I believe is one of the most important parts of your story, your faith. So, Honorable, what was your relationship with God like before prison?
Well, before prison, I can't say I was a pagan, because
You were going to church.
I was born in a very strong Christian family. I grew up being a member of the choir, but somehow, somewhere there, I became rebellious. And I think even there was another element, because I went to Russia for my education, and there communism, which was almost compulsory subject, which I loved most, and communism with God, I just miles apart. So I think that one again, reinforced my disbelief. So, and here I was. Now I came to government. You are a young man. You are a minister. You have got power. You have authority, and you have some money around. So those 3 things. What is God for? I remember my constituents used to say, "Oh, honorable, let us go to church." And I said, "But when you go to church, you pray for the president and the ministers, and I'm one of them. So you go and pray. Me, I'm going to my farm." Oh yeah, it was that kind of, yeah.
So what happened to that relationship after you entered prison?
Even after I had entered the prison, let me say the initial periods were again even reinforced my disbelief in God, because mine was that if you are God of mercy, you are God of justice, how do you allow this thing to happen to me when you know that I committed no crime? But I could see someone coming in court, picks up a Bible. I swear by Almighty God that what I'm going to say is the truth, and the truth and nothing but the truth. He puts the Bible down, and that will be the end of the truth. And I thought, can't God punish this one now who has held the Bible? What? They were never punished. So that one even reinforced my, if I could call it, yes, my anger against God. Yeah.
When you were facing death, what did your prayers sound like? Did you even pray?
I didn't. I didn't pray.
So was there a particular Bible verse, prayer, hymn, preacher, or person that became especially important to you in that time when you...
Let me start with the last. I think the preacher who I admired was Archbishop Nkoyoyo.
Oh.
Because he came there to visit me, and then by then he was not Archbishop, he was Bishop of Mukono. Then
He came specifically to see you?
Yes. Then I asked him, because by then we did not have a chaplain in Rwakasisi, so I asked him, can't he organize that we get some kind of pastoral care? But you know, Rwakasisi is not in the Mukono's diocese. But he went and organized his priests in Mukono, so at every end of the month they would come to all facilities in Rwakasisi. You know, they would preach, they would give us Holy Communion, they do what? Didn't go. So that one, that one was.
Yes.
But basically, what helped me was my Bible, because no one taught me to read it. It was direct from the Holy Spirit, I think. So I found solace. I found peace in my Bible. Yeah. And of course, when you ask about the verse, and like those were very, very many.
There were many.
But but basically, in the hymns, there was this hymn I said, I will sing the wondrous story. I'll sing the wondrous story of the Christ who died for me. You know, it's you know how we came from His glory for the cross on Calvary.
Yeah.
But then here we said, I was lost, but Jesus found me, found the sheep that went astray. Raised me up and gently led me back into the narrow way. Yes, I sing the wondrous story of the Christ who died for me. Sing it with the saints in glory, gathered by the crystal sea. Now, truth of the matter is that I never looked for Jesus. Nobody preached that I got convicted about Jesus. It is Jesus who found me. I was totally lost, but He looked for me and found me in prison. And I think that is the biggest treasure I got from prison.
Amen.
Yes.
So there's a difference between knowing about God and knowing God personally. As you have told us, nobody preached to you. He found you.
Yes.
Did your years in prison change your understanding of God?
I must say I did. First of all, getting on this, here you are in prison, but you have this verse in 2 Corinthians 3:17, which says, Now the Lord is the Spirit, and where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. The Lord is Spirit, and where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. So you can find freedom in prison and fail to find it outside, even in the church. If there is no freedom, if there is no Spirit, rather, there is no Spirit. So I found that, at one time I told people, whoever used to come see me, I said, don't pray for me to get out of prison. Pray that I stay here and I do His work.
Wow. Because you found purpose.
Yes, because I was teaching, I was preaching, people were getting saved, people were getting baptized. I established the church there. It is still there, very strong up to now, very strong church. Prison.
So did you have an experience in prison that you would describe as a direct encounter with God? Apart from the time when you said you were in a trance and you actually had it.
I had, let me tell you, Joy, if I had died in prison, I would not have knocked at the door for St. Peter to open for me. I would have gone straight.
Yes.
That's the truth of the matter.
Yes.
Because I was so close. I had time for God. Almost 24 hours in a day. And I would talk to Him. Look here, Joy. I would be in my cell and the voice would tell me, said, go to ward B, room 17. There is someone sick, go and pray for him. I would go and would find him and I would pray for him and we would walk out together. Yes, I had come to that. I used to sleep with my pad and my pen on my, just near me.
Next to you.
And oftentimes the skies would just open and the scripture would be written up there, and I would just put it down the scripture, the chapter, and write, even almost in my half sleep. And in the morning I'll wake up and sit, and that would be the message I would be giving to people. So it was so, I tested that relationship. But now you come out, you have got the wars, people want food, yes, but wants money, another somebody has died, you're going to bury, the wars of life. Yes. Otherwise, that was my best time on this earth.
Were there moments when you prayed for a miracle?
No miracle like what?
To get out.
No, that one was my praying that we, I almost every day I would be telling the people around, I said, I'm going home tomorrow. And some women started mocking me.
Yes.
They said, oh, I'm going tomorrow. Yeah, I'm going tomorrow. But
I don't know the power of the tongue.
Yes.
You kept on speaking.
Yes. I had that meet tomorrow, I'm going home. And time came.
And you actually went.
Time came. And I got out.
After 25 years of waiting for death, you eventually walked out alive.
Yes.
When you look back today, what do you believe God was doing in those 25 years? 24, sorry.
I'm beginning with hindsight. God was preserving me for a testimony. Because, as they say, it is from the test. It is from the test that you get a testimony. So God was preparing me for a test.
So God was preparing you for a test.
Yes.
Wow. One of the most difficult things for anyone who has suffered deeply is forgiveness.
Yes.
And yet faith often calls us to forgive. Did you struggle with anger? Of course, yes, you told us you struggled with anger during those years. But what made you forgive the president, first of all, and all those who had done you wrong?
You know, that was one of the most difficult things, even after I had received salvation. I hated Museveni with all my strength, because I thought all these things I was going through, it was because of him. So I said I can forgive other people, but this one no. And we had very many people coming to prisons, teaching us to forgive and forget, forgive and forget, forgive and forget. Now I said, but how do I forget? In fact, in my reading the Bible, you know, Psalm 119, from verse 6 upwards, David was praying for his enemies, and he said, may they die, may they graves not be marked, may our children have no bread. When they go to courts, may they be defeated and all that. And I said, this is a very good prayer. I would go down on my knees and pray. But the more I prayed, Museveni
kept on getting better.
Kept on winning elections. Those who were captains became generals. So I said, now what kind of a prayer is this? And until I got very good revelation on Jeremiah 31, 34, 33 and 34, where he says, to paraphrase it, that I'll forgive your iniquities, and your sins I will remember them no more. First posed, what is the difference between forgetting and remembering no more? Found that the marked difference is that when you remember no more, you know that so-and-so did this thing to me, but I've forgiven him. And because to begin with, forgetting is not a willful act. You cannot decide to say, I'm forgetting now. You can't, you know. So later on, in the course of the time, you can't forget, you know. But it comes from remembering no more. What does it mean? I'm no longer holding you accountable to what you did to me, although I know it. But I hold you not accountable to it. And that's how God deals with us.
So you eventually forgive him.
Yes.
So before we close, I wanted to know, what was the first thing you wanted to do when you were finally free?
The first thing I wanted to do when I was finally freed, and which I did, is that I wanted to go to the nearest church. To go to church, have a conversation with God before I go home.
Oh, so from prison you went to church?
From prison, I started with St. Stephen, which is near the prison, Ruzira. Yes. It was closed, so I went to St. John in Kawuku.
Wow.
It was closed, but we managed to get keys. They opened it, and I went in. And I prayed to God before going home.
Oh, that's so nice. That's nice. That's nice. So today you serve as a senior presidential advisor for general duties.
Yes.
How did you move from becoming a prisoner for 24 years to becoming a presidential advisor?
Now,
Briefly.
on this one, I want to give credit where it is. And on this one, I prayed to Museveni very much, President of Uganda. You know, from prison, especially after spending so many years, one of the most difficult things is rehabilitation and integration in the society. Rehabilitation and integration. So when we, after about 2 weeks from my release, they called my wife. I didn't have a phone that time. My wife called my wife. So she came running with the phone. Oh, they want to talk to you. I said, who? Just talk to them. So I held the phone. And then someone on the other end said, is that Honorable Priest Rwakasisi? They even called me Honorable. I said, yes, I am. Said, the president wants to talk to you. I asked him, the president of FUFA or what? Because I did not expect him to call me. He said, no, His Excellency, the president. I said, well, fine. So later on, he came online and he asked me, he said, can we meet? I said, of course. So he said, can we meet tomorrow at 5 o'clock at Nakasero? Then the following day, I went to Nakasero, received well, took me to his office. I thought I would go there, sit, and then he would come, I would stand up. Your Excellency said no. When they opened the office, he was already there. He stood up. We met midriff and embraced each other. Although Museveni doesn't usually embrace people, but that's what he did. And then he started greeting me, Keisha, Horo. I think on the third Horo, he paused and asked, Kosi, you and I, who is older than the other? I told him I'm older than you. So he said, okay, now greet me. So we changed the greeting. And from there, we sat down. He asked me about the case. I told him, I said, but you have been president for this long with security and intelligence. You had never known something about this case. He said, well, apart from hearing what people want me to hear, but I'd never gotten the whole thing. So I started it from the genesis. And later on, he said, but what he told me, he said, you know, they brought me your death warrant. You have to sign. I tried 3 times, I failed. So I'm not a very good Christian, but I fear God. So I went to that table over there. I knelt and prayed, and God told me, don't sign it.
Wow.
So I said, fine. What does that imply? Because God does not intercede for criminals. Then he agreed, so I arranged a meeting in Rwakasisi to meet the people who had been told and assumed that I killed their relatives. We talked to them for almost 7 hours. That was helping through integrating the society. And later on, he appointed me his advisor. So I think he played a very, very big role.
How long have you been an advisor now?
Since 2011.
Wow.
Yes.
Those are 15 years.
Yes. So on that one, yes, he did, because he helped the reconciliation. Because you can forgive well and good, but then there is a reconciliation part. You know, is that reconciliation?
Yes. Honorable Rwakasisi, I want to finish this conversation not with politics, but with hope. If there's someone watching us tonight and is going through a season where they had forgotten about God, what would you say to them?
I beg your pardon?
If someone watching us tonight is going through a season where they feel forgotten by God, what would you say to them?
Oh, I would tell them, God cannot forget them. He says in his own words that I knew you before you were born. So someone who knew you before you were born can definitely not forget you, even in your time of need. God, in his exclusive wisdom, the way he created us, that no one resembles the other, even if they were what they call identical twins, the architecture is different. So that means he holds us individually and takes care of us individually. And sometimes when we feel that he's far away from us, kumbe it is we who are far away from him. Who are far away from him. So it is good at any time that when you are in those trial moments, try to look for the hand of God. Because it will always be there.
Thank you, Honorable, for taking time to come and tell your story to thousands who will be watching. I know that they will be blessed by your story, and I know that there are many that will be encouraged that might be going through a season that you went through in your life. So viewers, until next time, may the Lord bless you, expand your territories and borders, lay his hand upon you, and keep you far away from evil. Bye-bye.
Manifest TV, Christ Revealed.
Fine Entertainment Group proudly presents the Alive in the Park No Turning Back edition, live at the Lugogo Hockey Grounds on the 11th of September 2026, starting at 2 p.m. We'll be headlined by Mag 44, Gaze Baba, CG, alongside Ugandan top gospel artists. Tickets go for 40k silver, 70k gold, and a table at 2 million Ugandan shillings. But don't wait, early bird tickets are now available at 30k silver and 50k gold. Dial *165 *20# to buy your ticket on Momo.
Powered by MTN TV, Phanon.
Uganda Tourism Board, 18 Media.